Hey guys, my name is Joshua Otto. I'm a real estate agent here in Naples, Florida, and today I'm going to be going over my market report here in Naples, Florida. The way I'm going to be doing it is I'm going to be going over the median sales price, how many days on market we had, the number of sales, days on months of supply, how many what has happened in the last 7 days to give you kind of a live look into what's going on. And we're going to be looking at July, June, and we're going to go back a year into 2024. All right, so we're going to start with the median sales price. So in July, we had $576,000 as our median sales price, up a little bit from $573,000. Not much of a difference though. 2024 is at $590,000, so it's down a little bit. But if you have been watching my market reports, you know that, in the last few years, in 2022, basically, since interest rates went up, we have been seeing it go from $550,000 to $650,000, and it's kind of just ridden that wave over and over again since then. So this is not anything out of the ordinary for me. Days on market. So July we had 86 days on market. June we had 70 days on market. 2024, 63 days on market. Okay, so it's up from the month before and it's up from last year. And yeah, it's taking longer to sell homes. You know that, especially if you have your home on the market. It's taking a few months to get a home sold. It's not uncommon right now. 3 months, that's not uncommon right now. 3 months still, if you can get it under contract in 3 months, it's not bad. That's pretty good. I prefer to see less than that, of course, but 86 days on market, that's where we are. Number of sales. July, we had 634 sales. June, 752. And this is interesting, 2024 was 612. So it went up from last year. It's down from the month prior. I'm not surprised. We are in our slow season. We're going to see this number continue to go downward until season picks back up in January, February, March, April, and May. Actually, May's a good month for closings too. But we're doing better than last month or last year. That's good. It's a good sign. Market's still, buyers are still in the market. It's not like the market is completely dead. There are still people out there buying homes. Months of supply. So July we had 8.3 months of supply, down from last month at 9.4 months of supply, but it is up from last year, 6.7 months of supply. Now that being said, the reason why this is going down, especially if you look down here, you have a lot of terminated expireds. People are pulling their home off the market. A lot of people, they are deciding to take their home off the market entirely just because they're not getting the price that they want. They're not getting the price that they want. They can afford to keep the home. They're waiting until it gets better. They're waiting until the market conditions get to where they want it to be to get their home sold at the price that they want. So sellers are frustrated, basically. They are pulling their home off the market, which is causing months of supply to go down. Also, a lot of sellers, they're waiting till season. I don't know if you have been watching my channel, you saw that in March, we were like 11 and a half months of supply. We were creeping towards 12 months of supply there for a bit, and I thought we were going to hit it. We ended up not, because actually during season, right towards the tail end of it, sellers started pulling their home off the market. Which caused it to start going downwards, and it has trickled downwards for the last couple of months. But we'll see. I'm thinking season, we're going to see this go back up, probably in the 9s, maybe the 10s, possibly the 11s, depending on how many people decide to put it back on the market in season. So the last 7 days, we had 206 new listings. We had 198 go under contract. We had 137 close, get sold. We had 125 either terminate their listing agreement or expired the listing agreement, which means that the listing agent had X amount of months to sell the property in the agreement, and it preceded that expiration date, so it expired. That seller might be deciding to wait till season, like I said earlier, to put their home on the market, or they might end up hiring another agent, or they might end up putting it with the same agent. It's hard to say what they're going to do, but it's no longer on the market as of now. And then we had 252 price decreases. So yeah, that's definitely trending. We have more price decreases than new listings, more price decreases than pendings, more price decreases than sold, more price decreases than people that are expiring. All right, so sellers are bringing their prices down to get it sold. You know, the ones that are serious, the ones who are really wanting to get it sold, they're decreasing their price because they have to. Buyers are not willing to pay the price they were willing to pay a few years ago. You know, that's no longer the case, mostly because of affordability. Interest rates are high, things are more expensive, and they just can't afford to pay that price anymore. So now, because of that, prices are starting to come down. Sellers are willing to bring their prices down. So as a buyer right now is a great opportunity to find a good deal. You could find a seller who's willing to bring their price down to get it sold, or willing to give some concessions either towards closing costs or to buy your rate down or something to help incentivize them to get their house sold. So as a buyer, right now is a great opportunity to find those deals. Also, new construction, right now there's builders out there who are offering 4.9%, 5.25%, you know, very low interest rates towards their quick move-in options, which, you know, that's hard to compete with for anybody. Plus you get the warranty on top of it. Plus you get, you know, you can get upgrade options. Well, maybe not the quick move-in options, but, you know, if you go in there, I'm seeing them, they're offering $30,000 towards closing costs, or $20,000 or $10,000 towards closing costs, or you can put it towards upgrades on the home. You know, they're offering a lot of incentives to get their inventory sold. So, you know, as a buyer, you have a lot of options. And if you're thinking about buying in the near future, now might be a good time to really look into what is going on and seeing if right now is a good time for you to buy. Because these incentives aren't going to last forever. This inventory isn't going to last forever. Eventually the market is going to turn back around. You know, it's all in cycles. Right now we're in that buyer cycle. Eventually we'll be in the seller cycle again. And who knows when that's going to happen. But I will say this, you know, if it gets below 6%, we have 5 million potential buyers that could come into the market, which means more competition for you. It's easier for a seller to sell their house. And it's going to be harder to find a good deal. So now might be a good time to think about it. We don't know when that's going to happen. Nobody knows when that's going to happen. It could happen sooner than we think. I'm thinking we probably have another year or two of this going on before we start to see any kind of improvement, or at least a peak of improvement. Right now, it's not happening anytime soon. But once it does, and you're aware of it, it's going to be too late. You know, that's just the way it goes. So if you do have any interest in buying in the near future, you want to have a consultation, you want to talk about your options, let me know. I'd love to talk to you. Again, my name is Joshua Otto. This is my market report. I appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.